At this juncture, I would love to make this announcement. Our nation, the Southern Cameroons, has been officially invited by the Fourth Committee of the United Nations.
Lies! Lies!
Our nation, the Southern Cameroons, has been officially invited by the Fourth Committee of the United Nations concerned with decolonization.
Now wait. Where? Massa.
Our nation, the Southern Cameroons, has been officially invited by the Fourth Committee of the United Nations concerned with decolonization.
Of Mr. Samuel Akom Sako, representing Africa Solidarity for Sahrawi, and Mr. Martin Ayem, representing Living Stories and Memories. These two requests will be taken up by the committee later this week following informal consultation in this regard. I hear no objection. It is so decided.
My country people, them, I hate for do the one. Some people will call and say, spoil man, gari, trace and stand for my gari. Ambazonia no be gari for people who can't chop anyhow. I hate to do this, but I will do them. Una hear.
Produce all the lefances, all the fontem asumai.
Without wasting una time, all group for ground zero, where FEMA Sha, it don't supply them with this fake toy weapon the way they call it now, Amoka. They don't kill them all. As a matter of fact, La Republique then can catch them on the spot. This one a good example for John Igyo and his own village for Ngi, where they supply this fake weapon them for boy them for Ngi. La Republique then come up from nowhere, pick that guy them up without giving them a chance for pull even one trigger. I leave them for a judgment how La Republique they track this weapon them and how they neutralize our picking them for ground zero, where they don't go fall for this hoax, this rook implanted traitors them. Infiltrate the way they don't put them for our struggle. Now the people then this way they be send them, me they can't set up Seseko, me then catch them, go put them for Yaoundé. Now the same people the way they set up ADF fighter them for inside Calabar, me then carry them go for Yaoundé. I no go even waste time for giving evidence because Zanzam then go always be na Zanzam them. Mbut nambut.
The last 3 weeks, every weekend, they have gone back into the bushes in Libya, hunting for the red dragons, hoping they catch them or kill them.
So, FEMA Sha way they wake up one day, key 500 beat them. It then somehow turn and Gorombip, where they define them for hunt them, for kill them, for inside bush for Lebialem. I beg, when I leave man. No be na the FEMA Sha number 2 day for TV for La Republique. It do propaganda video them with the DDR Center, the so-called La Republique DDR Center.
And also there is a story that Kemi Ashu also published to the effect that there was a meeting in Yaoundé.
For new people, the way they know join Ambazonia struggle, if you don't know who be Kemi Ashu, the person where they call and say Kemi Ashu, now the infiltrator where Yaoundé send them for inside Ambazonia struggle for diaspora, and one of those journalists where they recruit them. He named Manka Edith Blanche. He used the fake name Kemi Ashu, Kemita Ashu, Rosalind Lem, Jennifer Dika. Now the propaganda is that way to work directly with La Republique, their intelligence service for give fake news for Ambazonia.
Yaoundé has decided if they are able to capture FEMA Sha or kill him, they will declare the war is over.
Now the plan that way will be tell now, say then get them since for 2018. Say the one for make FEMA Sha me be prominent, me be saying I represent all the Ambazonian forces them, so that they go reach for this position where they could declare defeat over Ambazonia by the surrender of FEMA Sha, where go do the handshake with Mr. Pobia for usher in a new era of peace. Without justice, for the injustice the way the Southern Cameroon sovereignty it and the suffer.
They will declare the war is over. They will say all the fighters, Ambazonian fighters still left are just a few pockets of resistance and they are insignificant.
I guess una fit join the connect the dot for know why they struggle for talk say ADF need exist, no other force need exist, na only them they exist. I think that one na a no-brainer for una for understand the drama where they go on.
This is the plan in the plan book of La République du Cameroun. However, if they are not able to capture field marshal between October and the end of January as the plan ensues, they will now begin to engage in the Swiss initiative, the Swiss talks.
Na Swiss talk is all about the Swiss talk. Na a surrender mechanism where La République da make am for defeat Ambazonia, for save face and pay some individual them where they don't go rook for go sell Ambazonia. They don't carry plenty general them. Una no know the scheme how deep it be, but nothing need hide under the sun. Eventually, God get a way for vomit all these fake people the way they take advantage for Ambazonia their struggle and their aspiration for make money for their personal benefit. When I listen for the interview where Belinga where be the try for bribe me, Iran reveal and for La République, they don't give these people up to January 2021 for destroy Ambazonia. Otherwise, they will go after their family member the way they don't give them their deposit for money for ground zero. And no need for begin explain or give una the evidence. Mbut na mbut. Wise man na wise man. People who then get eye that already sabi which way it go on. God bless una.
This is a plan that they have in their book. Of Kemi Ashu, you will find that phone number. Some people have been calling to find out, is that phone number to support the Red Dragons legit? Yes.
Yes, confirm my brother. Mbut them zamzam. Una go donate for after draft with them tell una say they don't collect 2 million. I be tell una say that money na La République du Cameroun they are expected money for Guiam for them. They never even give that money for them. Na you way they see frustrate. Una go for the una go donate for it the same una dominate for Kemi Ashu, a fake profile La République agent where they don't embed them for this struggle for capture our people their attention, put them for middle center, put we inside one pot, nya the whole pot to me finish. But this na a divine and ordained struggle. The few righteous one, they go see the light and they go invest where result it go actually come out. Sorry for the zamzam, the way they never ground zero, they call themselves restoration forces, the way they don't fall for the people that trap. Una follow the pro-independent nationalist movement them for Ambazonia victory.
Brings this initiative and actually tell us that if after putting this money down, if in 12 months after that he is not able to take us to a considerable distance or exactly to Boya, we should make our judgment and give him a vote of no confidence. Mr. President, is that still the case?
That's exactly the case. And I can tell you that is exactly the case. I'm only here if I have an agenda. I am only happy to be here if that agenda is successful. And that is why I'm here. I'm asking Ambazonians, can you give me what I'm asking for so that I can do what I think we have to do to get to where now. Matter of fact, I'm happy with the response because that response gives me a mandate. Because practically speaking, if I didn't see that response, I will even consider my resignation because I don't want to sit there and feel like I can do something and I don't have the ability to do it, and tomorrow they will be asking me, what have you done? Because I know what to do. This IG knows what to do. The strategies work. They will work. But how do we get the job done? So give me the tools so that you don't blame me that what have you done? When we have to contain this mess forever and to get to a point where we can no more contain it, and the game is over, and the enemy starts celebrating. You can take that celebration away from them. I can assure you that if in the next 1 month we have this amount of money, we shall change. That's my promise. We shall change the equation. Now it is not balanced. It is not taking us to anywhere. I can promise you that we shall change the game and change the equation. We will accelerate. And everybody will see the distance, how far we shall be in Boya if we are not already there. You will have a chance to appreciate what happens. And if you think that I failed, I will gladly give the crown to somebody. I want to live for a purpose. I don't want to live for a name.
One enemy. We bind the ADF and we told every county will find anything ADF anywhere, eradicate them.
For people who need to hear that talk, now Chris Ano that they talk say make forces them for ground zero, go kill ADF forces them. Any place where they need. So wait will be the face for ground zero, no be infighting. Now inside attack instigated by Chris Ano, Sako, and all their combi them. Now a war crime for ask people them to go eliminate other people them because they get different ideology or different identity. Grandpa, you don't hear no? No, we don't hear. And all people will be this for these people that are back. No, we don't hear. We do not own ear. Make man not talk say you don't know the group where the people them belong to. People where they work eradicate people them. Now La Republic du Cameroon their agents them. So make we abandon them. I talk for all forces them, including the force them for Bali. We will then provide them weapon, bullet them for a long time. And for all other forces them across Ambazonia, we will not partner with we back up una helebuna. All my way to fight for Ambazonia. Now time for una to abandon these people them. We don't know exactly who will them be. Now people will say could not fire them. They not hide behind the name of IG. For begin push una gonna go attack una own brother them. Some fight the one and no first win them. So now time for una to abandon this church rat them. Admit to the man for Nigeria where not even buy lunch for yourself. They don't begin collect money for La Republic and for Ambazonia them for begin use the name for Ambazonia for begin enrich themselves. These people are good for nothing. They are criminals. They are criminals and at time for abandon them or stop for listen for them. Make them begin provoke inside fighting them for we make this war a finish for La Republic du Cameroon the favor. God bless you Nana Capo Daniel Victor.
Hold on there. I know what you are trying to say, but it is not even correct, because if they are doing something only when something has happened. What did they do? What did Mogamo do after Guzang in 2018? What did they do after Kurugwe? What did they do? I mean, it is really painful to see what keeps on happening there from one enemy.
That's true.
So it doesn't appear to me like they are really doing what they should do. We bind the ADF and we told every county will find anything ADF anywhere, eradicate them. Because we do not want warlords in Ambazonia. Any fighting team on the ground that doesn't belong to the county, they are rooks, they are thieves, they are robbers, they are kidnappers, they are extortioners.
Brings this initiative and actually tell us that if after putting this money down, if in 12 months after that he is not able to take us to a considerable distance or exactly to Boya, we should make our judgment and give him a vote of no confidence. Mr. President, is that still the case?
That's exactly the case. And I can tell you that is exactly the case. I'm only here if I have an agenda. I am only happy to be here if that agenda is successful. And that is why I'm here. I'm asking Ambazonians, can you give me what I'm asking for so that I can do what I think we have to do to get to where now? Matter of fact, I'm happy with the response because that response gives me a mandate. Because practically speaking, if I didn't see that response, I will even consider my resignation because I don't want to sit there and feel like I can do something and I don't have the ability to do it, and tomorrow they will be asking me, what have you done? Because I know what to do. This IG knows what to do. The strategies work. They will work. But how do we get the job done? So give me the tools so that you don't blame me that what have you done when we'll have to contain this mess forever and to get to a point where we can no more contain it and the game is over and the enemy starts celebrating. You can take that celebration away from them. I can assure you that if in the next 1 month we have this amount of money, we shall change, that's my promise, we shall change the equation. Now it is not balanced. It is not taking us to anywhere. I can promise you that we shall change the game and change the equation. We will accelerate. And everybody will see the distance, how far we shall be in Boya if we are not already there. You will have a chance to appreciate what happens. And if you think that I failed, I will gladly give the crown to somebody. I want to live for a purpose. I don't want to live for a name.
The problem, the process is alive because La Republique has committed to be on the table. That's it. If the day La Republique will cease to commit to be on the table, there's
committed.
Well, first, let me say the last part. La République du Cameroon is not committed to the process. They are not.
Swiss ceases to be a mediator. Because a mediator is one who is bringing two willing parties together to dialogue and negotiate. If one party ceases to be willing, if one party withdraws its commitment, from that day you cease to be a mediator. So to say that Swiss mediator does not exist is nonsense. They are mediators, they are not negotiators.
I know one of the questions that is being asked out there is La Republique committed? Have they shown any sign of commitment to the Swiss mediation? What would you say to those asking this question?
Yes, they have shown a sign of commitment.
La République du Cameroon is not committed to the process. They are not.
We are still having exchanges. They are still committed to the process. But as to the timing of the negotiation of the face-to-face, or so on, that is what is being worked out. That is what we are still expecting. They're committed to the process of mediation by the Swiss. La Republique remains committed.
La République du Cameroon is not committed to the process. They are not.
Camera and tell Ambazonians, listen, ignore what you hear out there, what you read out there. The Swiss mediation process is real, and that La Republique is actually committed.
Well, first, let me say the last part. La République du Cameroon is not committed to the process. They are not.
this. This is not what the IG spent its time yesterday doing. They spend their time not so much going out to debunk anything. They spend their entire time trying to make sure that they can guard power, that they can guard the money, that they can be totally in charge. And I will tell you in a moment, because Chris Anu is just being used as an attack dog. He was not at any of the meetings he is describing, and his details of whatever happened at this meeting, they are all lies fabricated and provided to him. I would have to accuse Dr. Sacco for providing that information, given how tightly knit our meetings were and those who attended. There were no lieutenants that attended, so the information provided has been provided by Dr. Sacco, and it is a shame that that is happening. Now, I need to say this because at our last meeting, which was last Thursday, and it was the first meeting ever since we met together at that moment of communion on the 19th of August outside the White House. At that first meeting last Thursday in the same venue where we held the last one, that meeting was organized as in the Hitler days, as if it was the night of long knives. The purpose of that meeting, I have to tell the people of Ambazonia, was shamefully to try and destroy the AGC and the ADF and Dr. Choayaba. It was a hangman's job. The purpose was to paint Dr. Choayaba, the AGC and the ADF as the worst thing that ever happened to this movement. As a matter of fact, our people need to know that when we rose from that meeting, Dr. Sacco was saying, I would never have come to this meeting if I knew the AGC would be discussed, the ADF would be discussed, that Dr. Choayaba's name would be mentioned. And I would not come to any other meeting, any other assistant, if I know that Dr. Choayaba would be there, if his name would be mentioned, if the AGC would be mentioned. And if I came to a meeting and it was not planned that they would be mentioned and they are mentioned, I will walk out of that meeting. Now, this was the second meeting that I was holding without the conveners doing so much as to ensure that Dr. Choayaba would attend the meeting. So you convene a meeting, you want to speak about someone, you want to blackmail someone, you want to say all kinds of bad things about someone, but you don't even have the decency to tell that person to be present so that they can speak for themselves. Look, they have pretended in the audio put out by Chris Anu that they are very worried about transparency, about accountable management of the resources of the people of Ambazonia. You don't wake up one morning and you become left-handed in old age. No. You don't teach an old monkey how to climb a tree. These people have never had any level of sharing resources or sharing anything in this revolution. Prior to the IG showing up, Maurice was playing the role of umbrella. And we put our resources generously at the disposal of other groups. We provided, for instance, 5,500 to help scout.
That is no money. So you're really sitting out there believing Sacco will be bought with 13 million? Chris Anu will be bought with 11 million? Do you really sit out there believing that or thinking that that is actually the case? But let me tell you, I will not, or we will not vouch. We will not vouch for anybody in that list. Listen to me very, very carefully. We will vouch for Dr. Sacco. I can vouch for myself. Maybe an Elvis commenter, I can vouch for him. But listen, anybody else in that list, we will not vouch for them. Let me assure you, we know that we know. We know that we know. The people, other people in that list have taken money from La République du Cameroun. I mean everybody except the three that I am mentioning to you, ladies and gentlemen. I mean everybody. The Insox Funcha, the Yannick Sikot, and so on, all of them on that list. We move on. You don't support it. We lay down our tools. I have to be very frank, very, very frank with you. There is no other way. You have to give your money. You don't give your money, we will lay down tools, carry our hands on our head, surrender to La République du Cameroun, and that will be all. I don't have to say it the way it is. All right. This is the moment to confiscate anything and everything United Nations has on the ground in our territory. Every United Nations official or piece of equipment that is seen moving or standing anywhere in Ambazonia must be hurriedly, and I mean hurriedly, confiscated. We move on. You don't support it, we lay down our tools. I have to be very frank, very frank with you. There is no other way. You have to give your money. You don't give your money, we will lay down tools, carry our hands on our head, surrender to La République du Cameroon, and that will be all. I just have to say it the way it is. All right.
I hold it for my conscience for tell the Ambazonian people today. Say, when I know when Secretary Chris Ano be resigned, this is the crook of the matter. When he be resigned, because of the problem with APNC, a situation happened. And if any man argue me, I go show you with proofs of videos. I mean audios. When Chris Ano resigned, I tried to find out what happened. That one passed. Suddenly, I received a call from my sister, Madam Ngwa Irene. He had Joshua Carr for line. And he tell me, say, we need to do something now because APNC go hold. Mr. Siseko, he don't talk, he want control IG, he want controlling them. We don't finish. We don't finish, we go lost power. We need to do something now. I say, so wait till we go do. Say, you need to do something. Wait, I need to bring up some story. I need to bring up some story for frame me up. I said, which kind of story? Joshua Carr was on the line. He said, we get to create them now to make the media know, say, he whole meeting from prison. And so if he hold Zoom meetings on prison and he control the people outside, La République government, they know the authorized phones or communication outside, they go send him for solitary confinement. When they send him for solitary confinement, that will be all and they go walk without any rivalry. Joshua Carr was very excited for go do that. Make he go try for argue me. Make I prove him. I don't be quiet for a long time. I tell you, say, Maggie put Chris Ano on the line. He had Chris Ano. And I advise you, say, no.
We're doing. Fighters that were arrested, had they alive or dead? The truth is that a report was issued by the county government of La République. A report was issued, and communicate. It is out there, and after looking into the whole issue, the government's spokesperson, Secretary Chris Ano, also went out and narrated gave the report to the people as it was. That was it was public knowledge. And so I don't even want to go there. Secretary Chris is here. He can just tell you again what is said. Maybe with this number of people here present, you might remember exactly that he said so. And that is exactly what it is. It has not changed. If they are alive, maybe La République knows whether they are alive or they are dead. Based on the information, the findings that we did, and what happened immediately after the aftermath of their arrest. So if they are alive or they are dead, La Republic has a better answer to give to that question. Or the group itself that they represent, because if they escape or they were arrested, they have the right to tell us if they saw them or did not see them. So they are not in our keeping. As far as the restoration forces are concerned, as far as the Bui administrators are concerned, I'm sure some of them are represented here. I would like to visit that again. If Secretary Chris here can reiterate this and make it probably clearer, then that will be welcome. That is what we know as the government.
Yes, sir. We would like to hear from Secretary Chris and Secretary Dr. Tita, please. To that. Chairman of Bui, are you here, please? Can you unmute yourself?
Will be crushed. This, what happened in Bui, should send a message to the ADF and the AGOFC that this interim government will no longer sit down to negotiate with you out there.
Even when I know when the house is small in number, the burden is heavy on everyone. So let us go to all our village groups.
They did not put
Let
their
us go
arms down.
into all our cultural and development groups.
Unfortunately,
We have to go into all those cultural and development groups and tell them, bring us your bank account.
By their own brother, whom I now understand is resting in peace. We understand that when the mission commander called for arms to be laid down, a few of the ADF members laid down their arms, but their own brother ordered for fire to be opened by the ADF forces onto his own brothers, members of the Bui warriors. As a battle ensued, we understand there have been some casualties, and may their souls rest in peace.
Fellow people of the Southern Cameroon Territory, citizens of Ambazonia, this is Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonian Defense Forces. Today I come before you with a heavy heart to strongly condemn the public execution of Mr. Idris Ngum and his wife, Mrs. Ngum Asena, and one other member of the Bui warriors that were executed yesterday, the 20th of March 2020, in the great state of Bui, the Savannah states. These actions were committed by elements of the Bui warrior under the leadership, orders, and influence of Samuel Ikome Sako and Chris Anu. These people who are impostors, who do not longer represent any legitimate movement of the Ambazonian War of Independence, have been given such anti-revolutionary orders to forces in Ground Zero to commit such acts of crimes against humanity. We want to condemn these actions that do not reflect the conduct and behavior of legitimate Ambazonian forces fighting for the people of Ambazonia. Ambazonia is full of citizen volunteers who seek just to serve their community and fight to liberate their people and our territory from Cameroon occupation and recolonization. We want to condemn these people for their actions that is geared towards the destruction of the prospect of our people attaining independence. These individuals are under the influence of the Cameroon Secret Service who are doing the same thing to the Ambazonian revolution, which Mr. Biya did to the Cameroon opposition party, which was multiplying opposition party to undermine legitimate opposition to the regime. They are now influencing other actors and movements to bring in impostors to misrepresent the Ambazonian people and miseducate, misdirect our people, using them against our own people, using excessive policies of lockdown aimed at punishing our own people, misdirecting our boys to kill our own people in order to turn the revolution against its aspiration for independence. We condemn these actions, and we want to call on all forces on Ground Zero who seek to serve the people to not listen to these people and to see these people for who they are. They are working for the interests of the Cameroon government. Today, I will be submitting to the leadership of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and its political wing, the Ambazonian Governing Council, suggestion to name these people for who they are, so that our people who seek to fight for their liberation will know how to align themselves and conduct themselves in ways that are consistent with the people's aspiration for independence and their tradition and their culture of respect of human rights. We have instructed forces on Ground Zero to carry out sanctions against people who are doing blacklegging. That means people who are partnering or enabling or collaborating with the occupation forces. These actions and instructions should never justify such barbaric actions that are against international norms and against international laws of war. Sanctions against our own people, our civilians, should be in line with our traditional practices and the Geneva Convention. My mommy them, my papa them. Today at the camp for una, me, the Deputy Defense Chief for the Ambazonia Defense Force, for condemn what way it happened for inside Bui. We Bui warrior them. They don't execute two of our civilians them, Mr. Idris Ngum and a woman, Asenangum, with other one of their force where they claim say it is support the ADF. This action them, no be action them for Amba. Amba no supposed to take gun a key another Amba, in particularly civilians say because they're a black leg. We be done talk for our people them. So we need for sanction people doing a black leg where they partner with the Republic, enablers them, collaborators them with this colonial regime where they kill our people. Those actions then supposed to be an acceptable one them. For maybe arrest them, interrogate them. But this action no go ever be say me then go kill some man. Let alone carry out public execution. Do one a taboo. Do one a balog, do one a curse. These people them, for Bui warriors, now the same thing will the same for someone the way they don't gather themselves for Momo and across our territory. Then be influenced by people the way they represent themselves, say they represent now movement them and organization them for the war revolution where they nobody represent them again. They be done sack these people. These people they don't be infiltrated by Cameroon, their secret service. They the one do for we, which way they be doing for opposition for Mr. Nijon Fundi, where they become multiply opposition party them. Me then can begin the pretense they be opposition where they actually help now for destroy opposition. Now so Mr. Pobia it is still one do with the secret service. They the one use Ambazonia them. Me then can begin talk say they be Amba. But where they no be Amba. Their work now for begin do things and way it go only make a mewa people then tired. For begin give plenty lockdown way no be necessary. For begin ask our own people then me then kill our own people then way you no get no reason for behind. These people them they do work now for Cameroon government their interests. They try now for make and say we will be frustrated. So they will talk say we no want this revolution, we no want freedom again if na say it go come. We call all our picking them from so. Say me no man you no ever take a gun turn them against another people. And me then avoid these people the way they come for present movement the way they no be legitimate representative. Say could be done sack the people them. And there are people where they use them, put them for before, in the name of county by county. Those people that they be influenced by Cameroon, their secret service, and for begin talk me people that they do things the way it go destroy this struggle. They ask people meet and keep people because of name of group, because of group and affiliation, not be because of self-defense. May gonna leave these people them. May gonna not receive the kind order for them again. I go today go to submit for my superior them for ADF and for the governing council. Suggestion. Say me then come aside can name the people them for which way them be so that our people then go understand which way it happen. And they go stop for follow the people the way na people way they can't talk say they be people way they no be. make all man is stop for listen for the kind order. If you did for ground zero, you be person where you don't take gun, say one help our people. Before you use that gun, think whether which way you do them, go help them or you go destroy them. We call all picking them on saw. Where they for under the boy warrior. If true you become na say you want help Amba, think about which way you do them, where they use you. We don't talk me all our army them for boy. Me then go back for their camp them. Unto the people the way they don't manipulate them, then give back our property where they be seize them or gun them. And then they come talk for all man. Place where they don't keep the 23 other picking them for Ambazonia where they don't catch them. Where they be there, they come for them, have can help give gun them for the worker go for the other side, them give gun and then come out go for other place, go collect gun, the way will be done by a media and use them for help we win La Republic. We are focused now for one enemy only now for La Republic, not be for Amba. Me all man when na Amba. Me make sure say anything where you do nothing where you go help Amba. Not be for kill your own brother, kill your own sister for nothing, for no reason. This one it must stop. The people them they need to work now for we. Their action them it shows that they need to work now for we. It work now for La Republic. It work now for La Republic. We condemn this action them with the strongest possible term. May God bless you now. May we focus for La Republic. Man way in order for your group, leave it alone for his side. So long as he fight in La Republic, make it begin fight the go. You fight the go. Any win for one man, now win for all we. One for all for one. God bless you now. Na Capo Daniel in the talk.
Today, I don't think there will never exist any other separate group of Momo. I'm going to work with Wuna, and then we will work or measure them with the native people.
Many things to a halt. See what happened. Without the Tigers, the ATF, the Sokadev and other self-defense group from different villages on the ground, the momentum of the struggle could have gone very, very low. But thank God for these self-defense forces. And now, this situation has been escalated to this level now that we know that our
My fellow Ambazonians, this is Dr. Chowayaba. Yesterday, the National Security Council of the Ambazonian Governing Council met in an enlarged session comprising of the executive of the AGOVC, the executive of the Defense Council, the policy chiefs, and the communication chiefs. We met to review the current trend of events as far as our war of independence is concerned. We took stock of the recent threats to our forces on the ground, the declarations made by Mr. Sako and his communications chief, Mr. Anu. We examined past events. For example, attempted killing of General RK of the British Southern Cameroon Restoration Forces, the kidnapping and disappearance of General Koraman, the conspiracy that led to the death of General Ivo. We took into account the incidents of Bui that led to the assassination of General Nginyam. We took into consideration the statement by Dr. Sako on the whereabouts of the 23 fighters of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and sister forces. We looked at their trend in terms of relationship with other movements, the impeachment of Seseko, the building of persistent conspiracies against Seseko. We took into consideration their declaration of war on the Ambazonian Defense Forces, the inspiring of tribalism from Lebialem, Bui, and Momo. We took into consideration the fact that the engineered civilian population to attack fighters. We also took into consideration the massive embezzlement of funds, public funds, collected to be directed to arm Ambazonians. We took into consideration other secret deals being done with the Swiss HD and the deep involvement of the Swiss HD in some of the activities that they are doing, and how those activities have emboldened the rhetorics of Mr. Sako and Mr. Chris Anu. We also took into cognizance the fact that there are several people working under them who are dissatisfied with all of these things and have been working extremely very hard to see that our forces can work together. We took into consideration the fact that these two men are the greatest problem that their own group face, and that within that group there are reasonable people with whom we can still work to build cohesion on the ground and at the political level. And the National Security Council decided that the declaration of these people as infiltrators and spoilers is consistent with all of the actions that they have been doing. Fellow Ambazonians, infiltrators are people planted in particular struggles to cause confusion, to cause in-house fighting for purposes that might be beneficial to them personally or beneficial to the opponent that we are fighting against. I want to remind every Ambazonian that I have been in this struggle for more than 30 years, and I have worked with infiltrators before. The first chairperson of the Southern Cameroon National Council, Barrister Ekontang Elat, after we had worked extremely very hard to mobilize our population, and we had reached the moment to enlarge the SCNC and transform it into the Constituent Assembly of Ambazonia to declare its independence in 1995. Cameroon used a pastor in Boya to infiltrate the movement and change the trajectory of where we were headed to. Barrister Ekontang abandoned the ship and left the country to the United States for purposes of head brain surgery. That is how the course was thwarted because of a leader who had acted like an infiltrator. It took us many more years. We of the Southern Cameroon's Youth League needed within the council a formidable leader who believed in the argument of force and the force of argument. And we met, myself, Dr. Kwanga was there, late Dr. Yombang, late Chief Ayamba, late Pa Feko. We met in Boya and decided we were going to nominate late Ambassador Epie to take over the leadership. Little did we know that as we were meeting, other politicians were meeting to nominate Ambassador Fossong. And when we met in Boya to get a new leader for the council, the politicians won the day and Ambassador Henry Fossong became the chairperson of the SCNC and took the SCNC, which was the council for Ambazonia then, in the same direction of passivity and wasted time. At the end of the day, he became the president or the leader or the chairperson of the Boya University Parents Faculty Association that increased fees in the university. At that same time, when I opposed that PFA, it was under Ambassador Fossong that I was dismissed from the University of Boya. Fossong could not take the struggle further. We, again, the sacrificial generation, we took the struggle in a different direction. Late Pa Foncha called for a meeting between us and the SCNC to reconcile our differences and present a common program for our liberation. The SCYL went to that meeting with a blueprint for independence that clearly spelled out what we are supposed to do to free our people. The SCNC leadership came with nothing apart from the claim to power and the claim to the right to lead. We split from that meeting and moved our separate ways. We moved in to build the defenses, and that led to the arrest of Dr. Akwanga in March of 1997, the attack in Kumbo, Jakiri, Ye, and other places. From then, I began to live underground as a fugitive with Comrade Wana Benedict, who is now the chairperson of the Ambazonian Defense Council. I moved to Victoria, he moved to Mutengene, and we began on trying to rebuild the scattered forces. Myself and late Justice Ebong drove on a daily basis to Douala at the home of Dr. Yombang to hold meetings to see how we could revive the struggle, take it away from the hands of infiltrators and politicians. We moved from Dr. Yombang's house to the house of Pa Feko in Bonaberi. We held meetings there for a couple of weeks before transferring the meeting to Mutengene in the chambers of Barrister Bruno. We rebuilt the structures and we created a revolutionary council and nominated Justice Ebong as the head, Dr. Yombang as the treasurer. From there, we started planning on how to take Radio Boya to declare independence at the dawn of the new millennium. In June of 1998, myself and the defense chair, we jumped onto a ship at the port of Douala that took us 30 days to escape the country. From Germany, we worked tirelessly to project Ambazonia with demonstrations, meetings across Germany, across Europe. We rebuilt the institutions that had been scattered by people who thought they were entitled to power and who thought, you know, you could fight a Cameroon using the force of argument. While in Germany, we were still working with the ground leadership, and another infiltrator came into the helm of the struggle. That is Ndoki Mukete. He was pushed as the new chairperson of the SCNC. He traveled to Germany. We had a series of meetings. He went back and moved to become the chairperson for Fekafoot, abandoned the struggle, sold out many ideas that we had worked on. Bringing you this history for you to understand why each time we identify infiltrators, each time we see the same signals and signs that we had seen before, we come across in a very strict manner to oppose them. Let me tell you something. If we fail in this revolution now, and we have to restart it 20 years again, many of you will oppose most of the things that you are accepting today, because you must have had the experience of living through them and experience of how they ended. It is this experience that informs sometimes the decisions we make. The experience of knowing politicians who infiltrate a struggle to hijack it for their own purpose. Experience of understanding when people do not understand what it will take to free a people. Experience of understanding when leaders do not understand what is at stake and what they need to do. These are the experiences that have guided actions that we have taken, that have informed our judgment. And in deciding yesterday to declare Sako and Chris Anu as infiltrators and spoilers, it is not only based on all of the things that they have done to derail our struggle, to cause infighting, to bring disrepute to our liberation struggle, to attack the integrity of others, to undermine others. Infiltrators do not coexist. infiltrators want to govern and lead alone, so they can take every struggle in the direction they determine. So they can never be held accountable in terms of how they acquire and use funds. Those are typical characteristics of infiltrators. And they always like to be at the top, because it is from the top that they can derail. Remember, Agwabala navigated his way skillfully to the top to determine the direction. These are classical characteristics you must observe. Some people have claimed the egg of C, and myself, we always want it our way, or we want to walk alone. No. The experiences I've given you of more than 30 years did not occur while we were at the top. I serve Barrister Elad. We left Moliko on a daily basis, moved to his home and hoisted the flag. I serve Ambassador Henry Fossum. I serve Justice Ebon. I serve Chief Ayamba. I served John Frundi. I even spent time guarding him in 1992 when he was under house arrest. I stayed there for weeks. So all of these experiences have not been gathered when we were at the top. Even now, we are not still at the top. We consider ourselves as servants, vanguard of this revolution. Because we have been vanguard in the past 30 years when infiltrators captured the helm of our struggle and decided they were going to mortgage it for their own personal gains. Remember Simon Munzu? That was the spokesman of the SCNC who defended the SCNC. And when an opportunity showed itself for an international position, he changed his direction. They always want to be at the top. They always want to speak for everyone. Coexistence for them is unacceptable, because coexistence means ideas are debated, directions are determined by collective consensus. I want to address this to all forces of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and forces that collaborate with the Ambazonian Defense Forces. We have learned in the past days that Mr. Sako, they have given orders for people to attack you. I have passed instructions to the defense and to our commanders. ADF camps are military zones. No one gets 1 kilometer close to an ADF camp. Not any sister force, not a civilian. Any civilian population engineered to use itself as a weapon against our forces defending the flag and the anthem will be considered as a military force, and our forces will exercise the right to defend themselves. ADF forces on the ground must take every measure wherever they are to protect our population, to defend themselves, and take defensive and offensive action against any threat to their position that undermines them and consequently undermines the defense of our country. At the political level, we will pursue these guys, expose them, banish them from the body politics of our war of independence. In most countries, embezzlers of public funds that undermine the lives of people will be sentenced to death. And this is what these two men, Sako and Chris Anu, demerit. Ambazonians, revelations are coming out every day on their activities. You have not even heard or listened to half of what they have done to harm our revolution. If we were not well armed, La République would have defeated us. We were destroyed before by infiltrators because we couldn't defend ourselves. The only reason they have not succeeded now is because we were wise. From the beginning, we went to arm our people. It has been difficult for La République to defeat us because of those arms. It has been difficult for the infiltrators to defeat us because of those arms. And that's why you must commit to arming the people. to defend the freedom, the independence declared and restored. Fellow Ambazonians, infiltration is as old as revolutions. Ours is not unique. It is not trying to undermine others. You have seen what has happened to our collective endeavors. You have seen how soldiers, generals have been kidnapped, they have been killed, they've been blackmailed, their sacrifices undermined for the sole interest of a few. The quest for money, the quest for their own individual survival. They have nothing to lose. They cannot tell you of any of their relations, their friends, or people they know who've lost their lives. If they had one, they would have respected our war of independence. It would have been personal. For them, it is some abstract struggle for independence. For us, it is about our existence. God bless Ambazonia.
Stay tuned on ACN TV. We will be right back.